Hello everyone, my name is Kate Hooper, and today we will examine the benefits of corporal punishment versus the benefits of alternative forms of punishment and how they affect childhood development. I wanted to discuss the practice of this parental discipline because some of us may remember the true terror of hearing your parents grab a wooden spoon or maybe loosening their belt following some childhood misconduct. In a 2019 study, over 1/3 of American children experienced some form of corporal punishment. Given this, corporal punishment is a much more common occurrence today than we might think. Corporal punishment is defined as physical punishment intended to cause physical pain to a person. In most cases, this form of punishment is exercised mainly on minors in a home or school settings to maybe teach them lessons surrounding bad behavior. Examples of corporal punishment include spanking, flogging, or slapping. Today, we will examine these benefits using some evidence-based practice. In recent years, corporal punishment has become increasingly contested, with other alternative forms of punishment taking the forefront in parenting blogs or books. Some of these other forms of punishment include logical consequences, taking away certain privileges, or putting the child in timeout. Overall, while there are strong proponents for both corporal punishment and alternative forms of discipline, either of these approaches can be beneficial to childhood social and intellectual development. The first point of view that we will examine today is pro-corporal punishment. Robin Perrin, an author for Pepperdine University, claims that spanking can actually be traced back to the Bible, a fact which might surprise most. However, conservative Christians, especially Protestants, are one of the few religions that support spanking as a form of punishment. This mindset actually arose from biblical interpretations and that children are meant to be defined in life in order to develop their budding social roles. In fact, the most common verse from the Old Testament phrased in this debate is, "He who spares the rod hates his son, but he who loves him is careful to discipline him," and that comes from the Old Testament. This verse can be interpreted as a parent who cares for the children will punish them in order to make them learn important life lessons, while a parent who does not love their children will not punish them, leading them to think that they are superior and can act out whenever they like. So now that we understand the origins of corporal punishment, we can begin to understand its benefits and importance in today's world. According to Hasbig, an online information portal rich in parenting advice, the primary motivation behind physically punishing children is that it helps make children respectful, polite, and even obedient. This is more or less what our Old Testament Bible reference was attempting to articulate. Additionally, mild physical punishment can serve as a deterrent for most children. If a child sees another child being disciplined, they are less likely to act out and behave. This is commonly seen in the remaining 19 school systems that actually still allow corporal punishment. In order to avoid classroom chaos, teachers are able to make an example of a pupil with basic physical punishments such as a minor lash on the hand. A final benefit of corporal punishment is that it sets clear boundaries. When a child is spanked or slapped, they quickly understand that their actions are unacceptable and were severe enough to lead to physical punishment. This is especially true if the caregiver had already attempted alternative methods of punishment, but they did not work. The increased level of severity with a child's punishment is typically more useful in these cases. Hence, the child typically avoids that behavior in the future unless they want to face the same level of punishment. Unfortunately, corporal punishment receives a bad reputation. Although flogging would probably not be acceptable in either a home or school setting, as mentioned before, a minor lash on the hand or spanking tends to do the trick. Meanwhile, on the other side of this argument are alternative methods. As previously mentioned, these may include timeout, taking away privileges, or using logical consequences. Amy Morin, a psychotherapist, writes that timeout, when done correctly, teaches kids how to calm themselves down, which is a critical life skill. This is quite significant for toddler populations, since temper tantrums are a key aspect of their social development, given their infamous name, the Terrible Twos, some meaning. Placing a child in timeout teaches them that acting out instead of calming their frustrations is part of life. Furthermore, the child often feels a sense of embarrassment and discomfort when their sentence is complete. These emotions themselves may be enough to thwart future mischief. She also writes that while spanking will hurt momentarily, taking away privileges like seeing friends and television ultimately hurts more. In today's day and age where children are becoming ever attached to their phones, ridding such allowances is just as productive. Additionally, taking away a child's cell phone cannot be enough to remove their social platform alone. The last example of an alternative punishment that Moore encourages is employing logical consequences. For example, if a child refuses to eat their vegetables at dinner, they are not allowed to have a late-night snack in case they get hungry. These methods teach the child that they should avoid poor behavior unless they are to be removed from playtime activities, their favorite toys, and other concessions they would previously enjoy. Ultimately, these methods foster communication between the parent and child instead of the parent assuming an authoritarian role, while simultaneously teaching valuable life lessons. In conclusion, the controversy surrounding corporal punishment is still a very real 21st century American debate. People tend to be very vocal and opinionated regarding this debate, whether they believe in physical punishment or communicative methods. While corporal punishment establishes control over the child using clear boundaries and expectations, alternate methods rely more so on communication and privilege revoking. As for childhood social development, corporal punishment teaches children authority and obedience, whereas alternate methods focus more on controlling emotional outbursts and how to process frustrations. Although both of these methods are quite different in nature, it is clear that they are both valid and decent approaches to parental discipline. And they are both very effective in teaching children lessons regarding poor behavior and allowing them to become well-mannered participants in society. Those are my works cited, and thank you very much.